Hi guys, how you doing? Welcome to Free Flame Thoughts. I'm going to give it a moment just to warm up in terms of the visuals. Let me see. So, happy Friday everyone. My name is Silva. You are on Free Flowing Thoughts. Today we have a guest speaker who goes by the name of Velvet Cat. And we're going to be discussing a mini version of her autobiographical life of Cat, her tarot reading, perhaps dream interpretation, and so much more. So Cat is on the live now. Let's bring you in. Oh, can I come get you? Let me see. Yeah. Hi Sandy. Hi Cat. How you doing?
Hi, really great. Just my heart
Super.
pumping.
Heart's pumping. I wonder why is your heart pumping? Tell us.
Live streaming, I'm still new to that.
Have you done any of your own?
I could count them, maybe like seven.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Really? I'm still
Yeah,
nervous though.
we've all got to start somewhere, 100%. I'm not exactly a pro, but I've done quite a lot by now. So welcome, Kat. Welcome to Free Flame Thoughts. Let's start with some relaxed interaction. So allow me to ask you how you spent your day today, leading up to this live. What time is it where you are? Because it's not much of it. You haven't really started your day yet, have you?
Yeah, so it's 12:40 p.m.
Okay.
Yes. 12:40. And so my morning, it starts usually like with breakfast. And then for this video, I got ready. So I had my curls and my outfit and everything.
And you
And
look pretty normal compared, huh? To your blue hair and everything else, the green hair, the purple hair, yeah. Okay.
uh-huh. Yeah, and then my mom called me, so I spoke with her and, I gave her a little bit of time. She's always fun to talk to. And that was pretty much my morning.
That's good. That's good. Okay. Well, I lounged most of the day. I had one appointment, but I came home and lounged most of the day. Yeah, and here we are. So, Kat, welcome. Let's do a few warm-up interactions before we actually get into the details of what you actually do. So I like to start my lives with a bit of soul connectivity, which has nothing to do with what you are about or what you do, what the public eye knows you to be, you know, our handle, so to speak. So a little bit of soul connect interaction is really nice. It kind of start a lot of my lives. So for an example, who is Kat? Let us know. Give us a bit of your soul reflection.
So, Kat, I refer to that as my alter ego because throughout my life, I've been a pretty shy person. And
Oh,
it took me like 20 plus years to figure myself out. And at some point, I just came up with that name, Velvet Cat, and really connected with it. So then from there, I was able to actually express myself more, like with colors and with style, and then pushing the boundaries on that because like you present yourself, we can be pretty tame to not get attention. And then as
mm,
soon as we add color, we're getting all sorts of attention. So it's a bit of pushing our boundaries. And that's where I feel like I was able to actually find myself over
mhm.
time because of fashion. And so now I'm more free spirited. I will like pretty much go for what I want. If I have a goal, I will make sure I get it done. And so for me now with Velvet Cat, I tend to be on the magical side. I'm inspired by anime and I love helping people. So everything that I do creatively, I'm striving for a bigger mission, which is to help
Mhm.
others realize their own potentials.
That's lovely. So it's being a willing vessel also for others. That's lovely, isn't it?
Yeah,
That's
it's
really
fun. Yeah.
nice. So where were you born? Obviously, you have an Americano accent. So let us know, where were you born and where are you now? What part of the world are
Yeah.
you in now? Mhm.
I'm Mexican, so some
Oh,
people can tell. They ask me, they're like, "You have a little bit of an accent." I don't actually speak
definitely.
full English. Yeah. So yeah, I'm Mexican, and I'm in California at the time. But then I kind of was considering whether I should go back to Mexico or to some other state or even another country. Because I thought
Mm.
LA was my home, but recently I've been feeling like I need a change. I don't know why. Yeah.
You and I both. Mexico is on my to-do list for sure.
Oh,
I'm wanderlust. I'm always thinking about travel the whole time. So Mexico is definitely on my list. I know who to come to now, and I want tips of what to do in Mexico. Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. So you were born in Mexico, or you were born elsewhere? Okay.
Yeah. And I
Okay.
still remember some aspects of it. I mean, we visited a couple times. And we do need to be careful, even though we're from there. So we always stay with family
Yeah.
because they know what to watch out for, and they tell us not to speak English. We have to be careful with that, sadly.
It's kind of one of the so-called countries, a bit like Brazil, where I want to go, and Colombia, where I want to go. Where it's like, I've been told, do not go on your own. It's crazy dangerous. Uh,
Yeah,
yeah, but
it's better
Mexico
with
apparently,
friends, better with tour guides. Yeah.
but Mexico apparently is not allegedly not as bad as Brazil though, and Colombia. I'm told in terms,
I,
but
yeah, I don't think it's as bad. Yeah. Still, like, we need to be careful, but yeah, it's not like crazy like that.
okay. So, what would you like as a child? Tell us a bit about who the aspiring Velvet Cat was back then before you became Velvet Cat. What would you like as a little one?
Yeah, so little one, I would watch people. I would stay in the corner. I had a few friends, and also when I was a kid, I was diagnosed with diabetes, type
Oh, okay.
1.
Okay.
Yeah, so even more being invisible. I didn't want anyone to know, and I didn't want to be a burden because with diabetes, the fact that my family had to take care of me, I already felt like I was getting a lot of attention and others weren't. And so then when I was out anywhere that wasn't with family, I just didn't want that attention or people to
Mm.
think of me as weird. Whereas now I don't care.
But I mean, I've been living in London my whole life, and having diabetes will never be seen as something unusual. It's nothing to be. It's not even. You're not even on the freak list. It's like no. So are you saying then where you're from, that's a big deal to say I'm diabetic?
Possibly, yes. I think so
Really?
because anything, any illness, they will be like, are you contagious? That's the first question a lot
Oh,
of people ask.
ignorant. Okay. Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then they ask, what
Wow.
is it? And for diabetes, they would always go with the stereotype because there's a stereotype, which is that we can't eat sugar. So that would always be annoying to me that they would ask me or tell me, like, you can't eat that because it's bad for you. And I'm just a rebel. So I'm like, I can eat whatever I want.
Okay, disclaimer, guys. Kat can eat whatever she wants, but for those who are diabetics, I urge you not to have that metaphor because it's not. I know diabetics, and they have to have a strict diet, super healthy. Of course, you can have treats. I had a PT trainer on here on Wednesday, and he was talking about being pre-diabetic, and he, due to his dietary change and etc., he transformed all of that. But of course, you're free. You can do what you want, but it wouldn't be the advice you'd give to somebody else, would it?
Well, there's two types of diabetes. There's the
Yeah.
one where we can eat anything. Of course, I still eat healthy because it does keep our body strong,
Of
and
course.
especially,
Yeah.
as we age, I feel like for me it's similar to everyone else, where as we age, food starts reacting differently. And then for type 2 diabetics, those are the strict ones because they have to. I don't really know much.
Yeah,
They're
there's like
taking.
the insulin and injections and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, they're doing different things. And so then they don't actually have control. And that's why they have to be strict. That one is even harder than type 1, for
Because
sure.
my dad, I think, was like pre-diabetic, and he changed his diet instantly, and he lost dramatic weight. He was never really overweight anyway, but he's like, yeah, he loves some cake. That one. But I'm glad that it's not severe for you, and you look wonderful. Sandy's saying in the inbox that was young. So I haven't got my glasses on. Oh, yeah, was young, quite young when you were diagnosed. She was saying.
Yeah, I was 7 years old.
Oh, wow. Well, thank God
Yeah.
it was early diagnosed. Okay, so you described a little bit about what you were like as a child. How would your friends and family describe you now?
If they were to describe my child, how I
No,
was as a child.
describe you as the adult now, you know, your
Oh,
family
as
and
an
friends.
adult.
How do you think they would describe you according to what they say about you or how they interact with you or what they see about you, you know?
They would probably say colorful for sure. Confident. It's a funny one because I've actually asked some people and they always say confident, and I'm like, like there's so many layers to me. There's so many, I don't even know how to explain it. But so I can be confident when it's
Mhm.
one-on-one. That's what it is. When it's one-on-one, not when it's in a group. When it's in a group, I want everybody to be heard. So it's a little bit more confident for me to be
Mhm.
assertive. But when it's
Aha.
yeah, when it's one-on-one, then it's easier for me because it's just I'm directing all my attention to you. And so they would say confident. They would say playful, perhaps. My entire family and friends, we're all so playful. We're all kids
That's
at heart.
me. Me too. Me and my family too. 100%. So, is there any? As I asked you the question of how would your family and friends describe you now? I mean, there's Kat, the younger you, and then there's Kat, the now you, the current you. Is there any negatives about yourself that you are willing to share, other than the A4 preference of CVs of how we describe ourselves? Give us something that isn't so great about Kat that you are willing to share.
Yeah. So something I'm struggling with that I'm trying to overcome is not being so distant with people.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Like trying to really show my friends that I care for them because I love when I let people into my life, I love them so dearly, but it's hard for
Mm,
me to show it. And so
yeah.
that's something that I'm like challenging myself. Okay, I want to show, I want them to see, so I'm giving them attention and doing little surprise gifts or something and hanging out more, pushing myself to come out of my house.
That's nice. Is there a reason why Kat is a bit aloof, a bit distant with people? Is there a reason for that? The
Um,
reason for everything. Maybe you're welcome to disclose or not disclose, but psychologically, it's a reason for everything that we do, you know? Especially the
yeah.
things that we tend to resist from. So it's the resistance of something that's quite natural, isn't it?
That's what I'm trying to figure out. So I was actually trying to seek a therapist, and it's been difficult. But I think for me, it's a bit uncomfortable to be vulnerable now. Like how I just
Mm.
told you all of this. This is me being vulnerable, even though for others it's not, or
But
it's so
it's a
normal for
beautiful
them.
thing. It's a beautiful thing for you to share any element of who you are, especially the parts that are difficult. So I thank you so much for sharing the now and what you will continue to share this evening. So thank you very much for that. So
Yeah.
let's do a couple more fun spinning questions before we get into you and
Mhm.
your path. Yeah.
Mhm.
Fellow mystic, as you would say. Yeah. Who are you when no one is watching?
The what?
Who are you when no one is watching?
When no one is watching, I think I'm a tomboy.
I love
I
that.
just
That's random. I
wear,
love it.
yeah, like I'll wear t-shirts and just lounge, and I'll be reading. So I'm also a bookworm. Love
Ah,
absorbing knowledge
what
and
are you reading at the moment?
huh?
What are you reading at the moment?
At the moment, it's this book called Nonviolent Communication because I'm
Oh,
trying to learn how to talk to people better where I don't react.
I'm
Yeah.
very reactive, but it depends. Here's my philosophy. I am literally holy water and hellfire. Whichever version you get is down to you.
Yeah.
Pretty fair. Holy water and hellfire. Which one you want to play with, girl? You know. So people who
Right.
think Silver's amazing. That's because of how they are with me. If they're like, oh my god, she is. Well, what did you do? You know. So I
Mhm.
think it's okay to have a bit of a balance. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. And see how you're able to have both. That's something I'm also learning, which how in my past I was also bullied because I wouldn't
Oh
speak
yeah.
up. And so
Oh.
now I'm learning to speak my boundaries, and it's difficult because then I'm like, "Oh, but then I'm gonna hurt them and I don't want to hurt them, but I need to speak up, you know?"
Mm. To be honest, I am such an overtly passionate and loving soul, and and this is the truth. So much so that if I did not have the balance of being so vocal, which does hurt people a lot, Yeah, there's only one person who's going to get hurt, and it's going to be me. Now, do we suffer in silence to suppress what someone else is going to feel, or do we be true to ourselves? And I think someone who's going out of their way to be mean, that's different. You're not trying to be mean intentionally, and I know that I wouldn't be intentionally. But sometimes I find if you don't say something, the pattern continues. People carry on doing what they're doing, or they may not even mean to be offensive, but it's just their nature, and we have to be we have to be almost courageous to guide and teach people how to treat us.
Yes.
And
I agree with that.
and that's I've learned that from very young. So even at work, they could be like, I know they're like Silver's a bit, you know, and what it is, I'm super friendly, but my energy is so direct, it will have a manager be uncomfortable in my presence. That my bullshit monitor is on 24/7, girl. Okay, and I can tell, and I'm all like, really?
Yeah.
And that in itself, without even saying anything, can make me feel really uncomfortable. But then we don't mind exposing, you know, unauthenticity, do we? So
that makes sense, though, because like you're right that when we do not speak up, we are hurting ourselves since we're repressing it. Because for me, for sure, it's happened where I'm thinking it over in my head. I should have said this. I should have said that, and they already forgot about it. You know.
I mean, I think if something's quite severe to the individual, sometimes you need that moment or that day or the week to say, you know what, friend or colleague, I was really offended when you said that. But if you have if someone has a tendency, I used to have a friend that used to store stuff, and I knew in 7 days she'll bring it up, and I was like, I cut her out. So like every time we have a discussion, you store feelings and come back when I've moved on. Yeah. So I did life like bills. As soon as it comes to the door, I open a letter. I don't store no letters, and then it's gonna be like bailiffs come around, emotional bailiffs and shit. No, let's deal with it now, you know. But there are those times where it really isn't the time, and you may have to wait. But other than that, so going back to the question, who you are when no one is watching is a bit of a tomboy, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so last spinning question is, what thoughts keep you awake at night?
Thoughts that keep me awake. Oof, everything. Yeah, it's not even just at night. It's literally throughout the day. Even right now, when you ask me that, it was like a million thoughts a minute. Work, my family, how much I want to help them, and friends, and everything that I'm learning, and like the universe, life, past memories. Yeah, it's everything.
It's everything. So are you a bit of an overthinker?
Oh yes.
Yeah. Welcome to you're my fellow overthinker now as well, I think. Yeah. So okay, I'm going to frame one question that I have never asked anybody. What is your favorite color? You have a lot of purple around you a lot, so is it purple?
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, okay. Chin chin.
Oh yeah, the mug.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So guys, welcome to the few that joined, and for those who hopefully, okay, disclaimer, Instagram has been playing up, and I've lost multiple lives because once I download it, it will stay on the feed, but it doesn't save on my page occasionally. I don't know why that's happening. So, however, guys, for those who may be new to this page, my name is Silver. I'm your host, and we have here guest speaker who goes by the name of Velvet Cat. And Velvet is a fellow mystic, a light worker, a fashion artist, and a tarot card reader, and so much more. Yeah? So we've covered her intro. Now we're going to get into the belly of what led you to the path of mysticism and tarot and etc. So what was your first epiphany in terms of this, you know, unearthing and discovering that you had an interest in the whole mystic side of
the universe and knowledge? Epiphany, let me see. So it kind of started because on YouTube I was recommended a video from Stargirl. I don't know if you've heard of her. She's also a tarot reader.
Okay.
Yeah, so she's one of the top, and I stumbled on one of her videos, and from that video I was really intrigued because before doing tarot, pretty much my entire life, I wasn't really thinking of this at all. I never considered it. I would think if there's a saying that people say, if you asked me 1 year ago if I would be doing this, I would think you're crazy. That
Mhm.
saying. And because in my culture, at least, we tend to look at it also as a bad thing. And I remember
Aha.
my mom telling
Yeah.
me to be very careful, warning me against it.
But you do
Um,
know why mum is warning you, don't you?
yeah, yes. And so then when found the video and I noticed how different it was to what I thought, then I felt a little intrigued and I started looking at a few more videos. And I noticed that the pictures were really grabbing my attention because I'm an artist. So I
Mm.
wanted those art cards on my hand. And I bought my first deck and decided to try it out. And from there, perhaps that could have been the epiphany because I did a couple readings and I noticed that I understood what was coming from the cards. It just made sense.
Mm.
And the first experience where I was like, okay, I'm going to do this on YouTube now. I'm going to take it really more about my life, more. I'm lost my train of thought. So the moment that I said, okay, this is what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, was because I posted on YouTube, on Facebook. In Facebook, I posted about it, and there were some people saying really negative things. And
Oh.
someone asked me, "Could you do a reading for me to prove that you're real?" And it was just a random person, so I was like, "Sure." And so I did a reading for him, and he was like, "Wow, you're for real." And he started defending me, and he explained his story and how my reading resonated. So then from there, I guess maybe that could be the
Don't
epiphany
worry,
where
I'm
I,
gonna get you. I'm
you
gonna
know?
get you to do one before you leave. Okay, so let me ask you. Let me throw a few things at you. Have you noticed how trendy and popular it is for people to say they're oracles, they're shamans, they are light workers, they are tarot? It's a generation of social media that wasn't there before, you know, because I'm older than you, a little bit more ancient than you. And it's before when people did that, it was very back, a little bit further back in time, people had it hush hush. They wouldn't ever admit they did those things. Yeah.
Yeah.
The
Uh-huh.
social media of witchcraft and things like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess in a different generation, depending on your culture and racial background, people that had gifts did not read cards. It came from a spirit. That's what I find very interesting. That's why I challenge some people, because multiple cultures actually in racial backgrounds, they don't deal in any tarot. They can just sit there and say, I can tell, and that's from a spirit. It's not because they've been taught to read
Yeah.
cards. And that's why
Uh-huh.
it's a difference between the trend of tarot cards and people that have gifts. You
Oh,
know?
yeah, yeah.
And I find a lot of people, especially Caucasian culture and background and origins, they tend to go out to college and get certificates. And I'm like, where we come from, you don't study it. You can just tell, like, someone has an illness, someone's going to get married, they have a dream, and it's real. It hasn't been book text and learned. That's what I find very. So do you know what I mean? So I do think that, you know, education comes in all different forms. So, you know, it's nothing wrong with educating ourselves and reading up on what our craft. But what do you think about that? What's your thoughts in terms of natural ability and those who learn, like you? It wasn't your spirituality that called you. It was like you just had an interest, and I thought, I'm going to learn tarot cards. How do you feel about the difference between natural born healers or visionists and those who just learn how to do it by textbook? What's your thoughts?
So it kind of brings me to the people that could possibly be scammers. They learn the
Ah.
traditional definitions, and
Hmm.
that's what they throw at people, and that's why they tend to be wrong because they're just going
Yeah.
by the definitions, not by their intuition.
Aha.
But you know, but I'm not saying though that everyone is that because I really don't know since I'm not living in their shoes.
Aha.
And for me, at least, it did help me to be more intuitive. Like
Okay.
I actually checked out a course that helped us in our intuition to really trust what we're feeling and sensing and
That's what I mean
knowing.
by all these modern day courses. It's bizarre to me. It is bizarre, but if it helps people, why not?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And that one was more life-changing for me than the YouTube videos where they're just talking about the definitions. Yeah.
Aha. Okay,
Because it's hard for
cool.
me to remember that stuff.
So how long was your process in when you first got intrigued by learning how to do it to actually becoming a professional tarot card reader? You would say you are now? How long was that process?
I'm getting there. I'm
That's
getting there.
okay.
So when I first posted on YouTube, I was doing it as practice. And let's say maybe a few months, maybe like 3 or 4 months, it took me to
Oh,
really feel comfortable with myself
okay.
and be able to flow faster. Whereas before I would pause a lot and I would have to stop and look up, okay, what exactly does this mean? I don't remember anymore. Like that, I would reference
But
because
that's
I'm open
okay.
to, yeah,
Mm.
like I'm open to all sorts of information that I might not be right about. And I'm always pushing the boundaries on how I can read the cards or
Mm-hmm.
how I can send messages. Because I did actually, since you mentioned, some of
Mm.
us, it comes from within as well with
Yeah.
like hearing or seeing
Sensation.
or smelling. Yeah. So that's what I would love to have. You know, yeah. And so I'm practicing, trying to do meditations every day. I mean, I'm not doing it so great, but I want to.
Mhm.
Um, and what I noticed was when I did paintings, I was able to channel messages in the paintings.
Mm.
Um, or also with writing, I tried it out once and I was able to write out notes that could be messages for people. And then I also tried it with water, where I was looking at water and like just kind of feeling it, and certain
Yeah,
messages came out.
natural. That's the part of you that's natural then. You see what I mean?
Possibly, yeah,
But
yeah.
do you see what I mean? I'm glad you said that because sometimes it can take someone to something you've watched or something someone said and never thought about it before. Then suddenly they were used, if it's real,
Mm-hmm,
they were used as a vessel to bring you closer to that calling.
mm-hmm,
You
mm-hmm.
know, so maybe watching someone on YouTube that was supposed to be a trigger for you, and you've realized now that I've actually got this. I mean, people tend to call me light worker. I don't often use that term because I'm still a bit uncomfortable with it. And I think you get those who just have certain abilities and those who go out there and say, I don't put my hands up, but I'm extremely intuitive to a scary level for people, you know?
Mm,
Yeah, but I think that some people do it as a practice and some people resist it, I guess. You know,
yeah, I would say so.
I've been told that I resist.
Oh, really?
I've
Oh,
been
and
told
you
by
know what?
multiple people, even my colleague, she says, when are you going to stop resisting certain things that you know that you are capable of doing? But that's a whole other
Ooh.
conversation. I'm not trying to be a mystic Meg, but I'm aware that I have different types of elements of gifts that I've never had to look up in a book or anything. But some people feel things, as you said, smell things or
Yeah.
can preempt things and see, I can't plan it. That's why I couldn't do it as a living. Yeah, I cannot. My friend, for an example, sent me a photograph. I must share this with you before we go on. And he sent me a photograph, and I said, "Why are you sending me this photograph?" And it was random because no one's done this before. And he says, "No, no, no, no. I met this woman." And I'm like, okay. He said, "Tell me what you think." I'm like, no, 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 no. I don't do that. I've never mentioned anything. I've not had this discussion with him whatsoever. I've just told him about
Yeah.
real experiences. And I'm like, all right. So I look at this is not so long ago, within the last 6 months, and I look at the photograph, and I don't know why, but I actually, my eyes began to cry. And this has never happened to me before, and I don't know nothing
Wow.
about this person.
Mhm.
Yeah. And I said to him, if you are going to be with her, please be with her. She's been through enough.
Wow. Yeah, yeah.
And I don't know why you've said this to me. No one's ever sent me anything. We've never had this discussion. And he's like, I know you got gifts. I'm like, I don't. You're resisting him. I do not. And I told him a few things.
Mhm.
And within a matter of 6 months, he says, you know you've got a gift. Because everything you've said has come true.
Wow.
I said, I'm
Yeah.
reliable. I'm reliable, Mystic. Don't trust me. Yeah, anyway. But yeah, I'm
Yeah.
told older, maybe I'll stop resisting. So, but mine's maybe a little bit different because I don't do the whole tarot stuff. But you know, where I come from is meant to be not accepted either. So, but I'm always willing to talk to new people and have anyone on my platform. So here's the burning question that I've been asked. I always have people bringing questions for me to ask some guests. With what you do you consider yourself to be a witch at all? No. Yeah, some people do, and that's,
Yeah, I think witches, they do spell work, and they also use other tools that I personally don't.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I tend to just stick with my prayers and yeah,
Yeah,
and
your mom's keeping a close eye on you, girl, yeah? Well, she's warning you. Good. So you're on the right track. It's from the light work that you are.
yes, for the light.
Thank goodness.
Exactly.
Thank goodness. Yeah, I'm happy that you're on that wave. Okay, so before we proceed, would you like to, I know I've seen on your page you talk about dream interpretation and numbers, and that's a little bit fascinating. So as we monitor time on this live today, would you like to is it possible to do like a couple or few readings, including of mine, and see what you come up with?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
right. You guys, is anyone, and by the way, hi everyone that's joining. Hi, and big up Sandy right now, because Sandy is a friend of mine and she is just a relentless supporter. So I love you, Sandy. Thank you very much for being here today. If there's anyone on this live that wants to experience what Kat does, leave a message in the comments box and say me, or say I do, whatever. So this is not a lip, but let me put some pretend sage in the ear before I do all this madness. Yeah.
Yeah, I did that too before our video.
Yeah, Sandy, you'd like a reading? I've seen Love Heart. I'm not sure if that's based on me bigging you up, whether you want a reading. Just confirm that for me, friend. Just say yes, and then she can do one for you. So, Kat, would you like to start with me?
Yeah, we can start with you. And so this is a new deck that I recently got.
A couple of people saying me, so we'll come back to you. All right, guys? Excellent. Okay, go for it.
Yeah, so this is a new deck that I got yesterday. So this would be the first shuffle, the first practice, because I do tend to really get connected with the cards, or maybe not even, because of how the messages come through still. But let's see, like, for example, with these cards, do you have a specific question, yes or no question, or something short, or just any general guidance for the day? Or
I think I would go general. I think if I was going to be specific, it'd be paramount to be personal, and it would be more of a one-to-one question, because some things are just for the earthly connecting. So let's just go for general.
Okay, so let me do a few shuffles here.
And let's see if there's accuracy, I hope.
Well, I'm still a baby. That's what they call me, the tarot readers. I'm still a baby tarot reader. So I'm always open to corrections. Like, I did a reading for my cousin this week, and I told her if anything is wrong, let me know, so that I could learn.
And that's okay. That's okay. But I won't say anything. Let's see what you come up with, because often we make the mistake of telling people too much about us, and then that's what they come out with. So let's see what you come up with. Something that maybe something that no one else knows already. So let's see.
That too. That's a bit of a worry for me. For some people, I don't want to make them feel uncomfortable. I'm digging too deep.
Okay, I'll just do a disclaimer for you. I think that if I've asked you to do something and you feel like, whoa, am I going to say too much? I'm telling you, you've got full permission. If I wasn't prepared for it, even if I'm scared, then I shouldn't have asked you. Right, Sandy?
Okay.
You know how me and Sandy go, yeah? So anything you feel or sense, as long as your spirit's saying it's right to say it, then you just say it, and I'll take it on the chin. Or crying, okay. You know.
Cool. Okay. So let's see. Oh, there's already a card, and it fell. The Hanged Man. I can't reach it, but I saw it.
Is that my card?
Yeah, that's your first card. And there's an acrobat in the picture. So with the Hanged Man, that is a card of seeing things a little differently. What is something that you're currently doing? I feel like there's something you're currently wondering. And so the question they're trying to ask you is, how can you do it a little bit differently than you've done it before? That's how you can figure out the answer to what question you're wondering, whether it is today or this week, something you've been ruminating over.
That could be anything, if anyone. Be more specific. I think we won the 24 hours a day. Can you be more specific?
So let's see what let's specify here. Clarify this hanged man.
Yeah.
Okay. The world. Oh, okay. So this is the world card, and this tends to be about your interactions online or what you create online. And perhaps it could be that you're on the right track. So these two cards are confirming the fact that they're both major arcana cards. They're confirming that you're on the right track. And so they're trying to guide you with doing things a little differently there, doing something new. And let's see, how can you do it a little differently? What could you add? Oh my gosh, okay. So you got another major arcana card. This is the Wheel of Fortune, and it's reversed. So the Wheel of Fortune tends to be a card of, let's see. Wheel of Fortune. Things happening in their own way. And since it's reversed, perhaps that's what it's asking you to do a little differently. Like if you're trying to control how everything functions, you're not letting room for growth, for changes, for opportunities. And that could be why it's reversed. And also the people you work with. Perhaps there's like a new way you can do your posts, because it's making me think of this. Something that I noticed in your posts is that they are showing us, but then you don't have a cover. And the way that it can actually grow your channel more is if you do have a cover that tells people what to expect from that video. That way,
give me an example of a cover.
Like this one, for example, you could leave the cover like this for both of us, but then include some words that say, for example, talking about spirituality. Yeah, pretty much that's what our topic is. Something like that. And then with the other ones, talking about poetry or talking about overcoming an addiction. Something like that.
So you think words on top of a voiceover? I think that's too much, personally. I think if you've got a voiceover, I don't think you need to have subliminals. I mean, subs on top of that. I think personally that's too much.
The top of a voiceover?
Yeah, I do voiceovers on the post. I think having words on top of that would be too much, I think, instinctively. But I hear what you're saying.
I'm not sure what you're referring to, but I mean like when we go on your profile, how we see the posts. Like if people were to see what your posts are about, they would get to know you quicker than just seeing videos of people.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, I totally get that. Yeah. So you mean even though you've got is someone writing here? Yeah, some people like to read, totally. But honestly, from my perspective, some people just have flyers. And if you look at most people's like promos, it's usually a flyer. Yeah. And I think trying to make it different, I do voiceovers because that's what I get paid to do anyway sometimes, is use my voice. Yeah. But you're right, some people like to read, but on the flip side, there's so much work that goes into sometimes what I do, that's why I have to plug out sometimes of social media and give myself a break, knowing when to just switch off. But absolutely, some people like to read, but do I think having a cover and a voiceover will be too much at this intuitive stage? I think it would be. But I do appreciate your personal feedback, because that's a personal feedback you're giving me, not really necessarily a professional one. So it's personal, but I do receive it. And I also received the person in the inbox, Nay Classy, saying that some people like to read.
Yeah. And like I'm not like with the words, I don't mean that the video has to have words. I just mean the cover. I don't know. Yeah, just
you know you should do, maybe send me later on, do you have one on your page?
I think I do. Like how, for example, on my post, it says message from spirit guides, or it says July, pick a card,
Right, okay. Maybe
something like that.
inbox me an example of what you've done. I can look at it from that perspective. That would be nice as well. I'm open to that.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. So that is that my reading, yeah?
For now, yes.
Thank you
This is
very
the
much.
general sense.
Does it resonate? No, but then sometimes the penny drops later. So let me sit with it. And thank you very much for that. Yeah. So let's
Yeah.
see who wanted to read. And let's go for Sandy. Sandy, is there a specific question or do you want her to be general? Do you answer that? General or specific question you'd like to ask her? Ask Velvet. Let's see what Sandy says. Sandy, you still here? And who else said me? Let's see. Sandy said yes. Oh, Nay Classy said me. Yeah, Nay's asking, in terms of, because what I do, I don't know if you've seen my post, Nay, I would already announce what the topic's about. So if you go on my page, everyone has a personal video, and I've not seen it on anyone's page, to be honest. So, for example, a cat has a personal video. I'll go on people's pages, or they send me the photographs that they may want, or I look for it myself with permission. And I'll create the post, and I do a voiceover, that describes everything that's already happening. And then I write a small description on the actual post. So I don't personally think I need to add now writing on the video. I think that'd be all too much. So that's been a bit like a Christmas tree. Do you know what I mean? But I think that if I didn't have, go ahead.
Oh, no. I was just,
yeah. But I think that when I look at a lot of other people's posts where they just have the person's picture, so they may have just the person's picture and they have like a little description, then I think the words would make more sense to have that writing on the video. But with my voice, with writing and description, I think that's just too much. I just think that's overkill personally. But again, there's no harm in giving that feedback, because maybe the penny will drop and I can rearrange in a different remix using that same guide you've suggested. So, but what I do like on some trailers that I've seen, where people have the writing subs, that I'm gonna do. So let's say you have a trailer or something, there's gonna be some marketing stuff I'm gonna be doing at some point, but it's gonna be like a trailer. That will be perfect to have quick subs, because you're not gonna have a whole description of me explaining what's happening next. So that would make sense. But yeah, so let's see what Sandy wants you to read. Okay, this requires my 2020 vision, girl. I'm serious, because I can't. Hang on a minute. Right, I have a decision to make. Not sure how to go about making a decision. Okay, so she has a decision to make, but she's not sure about how to go about making that decision. Can you wrap up a set of cards for her and see what comes up?
Yeah, so we can ask what is the decision she's trying to make, and then she can let me know if it resonates before I provide the answer.
So we have Nay Classy, and Elaine's just joined us. Elaine, if you want to have a quick reading, whether you're a skeptic or not, let us know what you think. Yeah, if you want to have a reading, say me too. If not, you can just keep watching. So go ahead. So this is for Sandy, who has a decision to make, who's not sure how to make the decision. And
okay, so let's see what decision. Oh, there we go. Oh, okay. So we got 3 cards here. The first one is showing how she's struggling with that decision. This is the 7 of Cups. That's the literal card of options and which one to pick and where to go next.
Okay.
And this next card, this is the Hermit, and it's reversed. So this is the card. And the Hermit is one where you need to spend some time really thinking how you're feeling, or not thinking how, really considering how you're feeling about the situation, which then I got the 3 of Swords, and that clarifies that it could be a question that deals with a relationship. And so the card is saying, the Hermit reversed is saying that she's not taking the time to really consider how she's feeling, or even to value how she's feeling.
Mm-hmm.
Like maybe she's ignoring her gut feeling, and like she might know what is best, but she might be wanting this, whatever she wants to pick, she's wanting it so bad that she's ignoring what's actually good for her.
Okay.
So perhaps this is what I'm sensing here, but you could tell me like if it's resonating, if it's right.
Sandy, does it resonate at all? Let us know. Yes, no. Either way, we are grateful for that reading. Kat? So let us know in the comments box if that resonates at all, Sandy. Yes, no. And then we have Nay Classy. Nay, is there a specific question you'd like her to try and connect on, or is it just a general? Let us know. Okay, Nay, let's have a look. Is it specific question, Nay, or is it general? Let us know. Sandy says that does make sense. Okay. So Nay, is that general? It must be general. So go general. Yeah, she hasn't written anything specific, so it must be general. So let's do Nay Classy, something general for her. Oh no, is it something else? I'd like to know when my life will change. Wow.
When her life will
We
change.
all want to know that one, girl.
That's a deep question.
I think we all want to know that one, girl. That's a question for God. Seriously, Nene, but okay.
Yeah.
I hear you though.
So
Job-wise and relationship. Girl. Are you reading my life, Nay? Are you really? Yeah, job-wise for sure. Go ahead.
Let's see. With Nay, when will her career and relationships change? Oh, interesting. Okay. When will her career... so I also got the Three of Swords again and the Ten of Swords, which I feel like they're talking about her past and how she's feeling. Perhaps being backstabbed over and over by different people.
Wow.
And also, the Three of Swords does tend to be a card of heartbreak. It doesn't have to be, but it does reflect that. And so that's showing me what she's feeling. But so when... It could also be about work, because both of these, it's not being acknowledged at work. Also, not vibing with the people around you, where they could be disrespectful. They could be not treating her as a valuable asset to the team, and not being paid her worth, perhaps being stuck financially. And so now let's see, when will things change? Okay, we got Six of Cups and the Fool. These are the two cards that we got. This is Six of Cups, and then this is the Fool. So what I get from these is that perhaps she might need to ask for support and take the challenge to actually change things herself, because oftentimes we might feel attached to a job or a relationship, and we might feel like time is just flying, and so it needs to be perfect right now. But with the Fool, that one is of like really acknowledging how have you been doing things so far, what hasn't been working for you. And how can you change things up? Like how this girl is dressing up. She's about to jump off a cliff. Don't do that. But so she's dressing up. She's going to, it looks like she's dancing. you know, and really being a little bit more playful in life, not so rigid, allowing herself time to be more alive with what she actually would like to do. Like if she has a side hobby that catches her interest, but she doesn't put time into it because she's so overworked and then she's tired, then it's like really prioritize that. And that's when, as you take those steps towards what really lights you, then that's when life will change up. And same thing with the Six of Swords, asking for support. Like, who can you go towards? Where can you learn career-wise, for example, how to do what you really want to do? And maybe even the connections around you. If we ask around, they might be able to connect you to a new job, something different, and you'll meet the right people there. So that's what I'm sensing with this one. Like, we never know what connections we have in career and for love. They might even connect you to your actual true love. And so that's what I'm sensing here with these.
Is that her readings? Yeah.
Yeah.
Nate Darcy, can you relate to any of that? What are your thoughts? Well, we thank you for that, Velvet. Let's give Nate a moment to say yes or no. Did that relate? I know we're on borrowed time tonight as you have a lunch date, girl.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Let me check the time. Has it been? Oh, yes. Okay.
I'm going to wrap it up for you. So, guys, before you go, I have two last questions for you. Where do you see yourself? What does the future hold for Velvet Cat? What can we anticipate from you? Because I know you do fashion, you're a fashion artist, and you do your tarot and etc. So, what does the future have in store for you?
So I do plan to merge the tarot with my business, because for the past few years I've been in art, and I now want to start actually creating more art that reflects symbols with angels and God, and then also art that empowers others with the messages to be their true selves, and any other empowering messages like about confidence, overcoming shyness, overcoming narcissists, things like that. I don't know. Yeah. And then in addition to that, my future, I want to actually build an animal rescue. And so that's where I'm striving towards with the money that I'm currently making with my art, and what other projects I do.
You're very diverse. And lastly, before you leave us tonight, what are your afterthoughts? I'm tongue-tied today. I don't know why. Sleepy, wake up, wake up. What are your afterthoughts? How do you feel your time has been for you today, right here on Free Flame Thoughts?
It's been fun. Yes, I enjoyed this. I was able to overcome a little bit of the shyness in the beginning, and I did see some of the people that are following me, so I'm glad for that.
Super, super. Thank you. Okay, excellent. Well, guys, tonight we have Velvet Cat joining us. I'm going to hopefully download this video to my page, and hopefully it doesn't disappear. Instagram, don't do this no more. Thank you for joining us, Kat. You were amazing. Thank you so much. Hope to see you again soon. And for now, you can exit yourself from the live. Can you see a little X? Is it on your right or is it on your left? I'm not sure where you can see that X at the top. But thank you. Can you send some? Yeah, send Kat some more love hearts, guys. I'm going to send Kat some in the inbox. Kat, thank you so much for taking the time to join us tonight.
Thank you for having me.
We appreciate you. Peace and love. Namaste.
Bye, guys.
Guys, what's your thoughts? That was a briefie. That was Velvet Cat. I will add her links and page on this video if Instagram allows me to download it. Next week we have a brand new guest. It's going to be interesting. So for now, guys, thank you for joining me. Wishing you a delicious night and happy weekend. Peace and love.